It was last July when 4 men jumped out of this black car and opened fire, killing 10-year-old Micaa Wilson as she was on her way to an ice cream truck. Today, a D.C. Superior Court judge unsealed a 26-count indictment linking Wilson's murder to the 2017 murder of Carl Hardy, which was captured on surveillance video outside the Potomac Gardens housing complex in Southeast.
What's up, y'all? This Aunt Glizzy and this Barberson TV. And today we got DF Gang found guilty. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. I'm on my way to 100K subscribers. I'm trying to turn up. For all the people that have been supporting me from the start to now, I appreciate all y'all. And I thank y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, and comment. I make sure y'all do it. Like, share, and comment. That's what helps me, not anything else. Make sure you like, share, and comment. Let's build the channel. Let's get into it. So for the people that don't know what DF Gang is a group of guys. They rap group. They in a rap. I'm just gonna call them rappers. Let's just say like some rap, some, I don't know what they do. I don't know these guys personally. So just remember, I don't know these guys personally, but these guys act like they know me. I never got into it with these guys, never argued with these guys. I don't really even know these guys, but some way, somehow, these guys know me. Now let's get into the story. So I got a best friend named GQ. Everybody know GQ is. If you don't, it's my best friend. I got him tattooed on me. I got him on the chain. I wear him tattooed on my face. I got a godmother named A and B. They twin sisters. And A and B is GQ's aunts. So my mother from Waller Place, A and B from Waller Place. So when my mother had me as a child, growing up, B and them used to babysit me. So them babysitting me, they nephew, GQ, lived on the same side of town as my mother moved on that side of town. And they told my mother, if Ann ain't got no friends, all they gotta do is walk up the street, call up the street. He can hang with his cousin. So my mother took me to Miss Celeste, that's GQ mother. And I met GQ that day. I probably was like 5 years old. So I played for Watkins Recreation Center, like the football team at 6. GQ played for them too. So we played football together. I started hanging in the neighborhood. I hung with him every day to the day he passed away. I hung with him all the way to the day he passed away, like 20-some years. So that became my best friend, like my closest friend in the world. Like there's nobody in the world closer to me than that guy. Like I know all his secrets, he know all mine. Like it ain't nothing I can hide from him. Like when we beef, they be like unreal. Like y'all don't even know me and GQ get into it. It's like they be unreal. They be the most turned up, silentest beefs ever. But they don't end up in fights or like nothing like that. Hey, y'all don't know GQ just jacked me up a couple times because I let him jack me up. I just let him feel like, I don't know. I really could have beat him up. He know I could beat him up. Like, this is my best friend. I could talk about him. This ain't knocking. This is my best friend. I could talk about him. Like, he jacked me up one day. I told him, he was high. He was off the boot. He jacked me up one day. I told him, I said, bro, we both know I can beat you up, bro. Why is you doing this? He let me go. Because I think he realized, like, you know, like, bro, we both know I can beat you up, bro. Like, you can't fight. Like, he can't fight. One thing about him, he can't fight. I ain't say he won't fight. He will fight anybody. There's nobody he won't fight. He can't fight, though. Like, it's certified written in history. He can't fight. Like, he'll drop buckets, but he can't fight. But long story short, so we get back to it, that's my best friend. Long story short, we hanging out every day. All right, so now fast forward to like, I'm gonna say, fast forward till we 14 years old. We played football all the way till we was about 13. We was running recreation football and all that, about 13. I'm gonna say 13 years old. 13 years old when he started doing this thing, the streets, he started introduced to the streets, like he started getting into the street life. He was way ahead of me. He was 5 years ahead of me. It took me 3 years to know before, to like look around and see what really was going on. So on his 14th birthday, I remember this. It was some girl that he talked to. I ain't gonna say her name, but some girl he talked to, and she was giving him $200 for his birthday. And he was going outside to get the money. And as he was going outside to get the money, the $200, he told me, bro, hold these 2 bags. I'm about to go get this money for my birthday from the girl. So I just still look at the 2 bags. I set them right there. I'm on this couch in his house. He came back. He got 200 from the girl. He like, bro, help me count this. Let me sort this out. This man had that was 2 trash bags full of money. He was 13, and he's 14 years old. I never seen nothing like this in my life. This is when life hit me. Like, what are you doing? Like, I think GQ the reason I stopped playing football, to be honest, now that I think about this moment. Because, like, when I seen he had that money, I want in, bro. I don't care what you doing, but this the side note that y'all don't know. I've been watching this man go in and out this building. He just walk in, come out. I don't know what he doing. He just walk in, come out for 3 years. Like, from 13 to 16, he just doing that. I never knew what none. I'm just, bro, people walking these buildings all that. I don't know. I'm just thinking he playing wall tag at this point. Y'all put the paint with it. Y'all get with these. Boom, boom, boom. So now he got 2 trash bags of money. We count up, he got like 40,000. I'm gonna say like 36,000 to be exact, because that's what we counted. I'm like, bro, you stingy, bro. Like, you crummy, bro. Like, I had to pull on, like, bro, you crummy. Like, what you talking about? Like, bro, you just took $200 from that girl. You got all this money, bro. You should have gave her $200 for your birthday. He's talking about, nah, bro, because if you don't get the money, that's when you start acting weird. That's when they gonna know I'm really getting money, bro. It's like they already see me buying all this Hugo Boss and all these outfits. They don't know what none of this is, bro. I mean, my mother buying me this. Now I don't need $200. Yeah, I need $200 at all times. I'm like, I get it. So now that's why I got that from GQ, man. You could just look like whatever. They'll walk straight past you the whole time. You got everything. They only robbing the people that I want to look like money. They only attacking the people that are always talking this money stuff. You can look broke there and walk. You blend in. It's chameleonaire season. Just blend in. So boom. That's one thing. That's just one story we had. He been getting money. There's nobody in my neighborhood can cover for him. Like, the neighborhood ain't been the same since he passed away. It'll never be the same. He took the heartbeat out the junk. But I'm not even really from that neighborhood. I told you I'm from down the street. I just moved in the neighborhood. I'm from 14th Street. He from 11th Street, like 3 blocks up. I'm only up there because of my best friend. So when my best friend died in that neighborhood, I left the same day. I never been back since. Like, I haven't been back. I'm not going back. Like, I ain't got nothing against the hood. It's just like PTSD. My best friend died here. I'm going to traumatize. I'm going to have trauma from this. Nobody going to understand me. One day I was outside. I was in the courtyard. And a car pulled up from 2 football fields away. And some guys hopped out with machine guns and let off shots towards a crowd. I was outside, but I wasn't in the harm's way of the bullets because the bullets were so far away, I didn't even see the shooters. I literally seen the shooters on YouTube. Like, when the case came out, a home camera, like a doorbell ring camera, caught the alleged shooters, and I still ain't see them. I still don't know who shot the guns or nothing. I just seen guys in masses out of the car from like down the bottom of the complex. All right, so one day we all outside, just fast forward years later, this the day he died. We outside, we just chilling, everybody outside. It's probably like 50 people outside. We in a courtyarded neighborhood. It's like a college campus, it's a gated community. It's a whole gate around the whole neighborhood. So a car pull up maybe a mile away. Some guys stick a car pull up like a mile away, and some guys stick their guns through a fence and shoot at just an open crowd. There's kids out there. It's everybody out there. It's like a courtyard full of people. So when they fire these guns, they don't know who they hit, who they shot, who they seen, nobody. I was outside. They said it was for me. That's what the FBI said. I'm going to get to that later on in the story. So I'm outside. I don't know what it is. I'm just thinking regular day in the hood. I hear gunshots. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know where the shooter's at. I don't know where the gunshots came from. It was like you heard it, but you didn't see it. It was that far. Nobody seen those shooters. Only way we seen the shooters or I seen the shooters and knew that somebody really was shooting like towards us. I thought it could happen down the street. I didn't know. Because a YouTube video came out on YouTube like after the scene, like a crime scene video YouTube, and we seen a car and where they was parked at and how far they shot away. Bro, they shot so far away, I knew they couldn't get me. Like, that was not for me. Like, if they saying that was for me, that was not for me. They shot so far away, they couldn't have got me from right there. I don't know what they got. They lucked up. It was lucky, though. Like, I can't knock it because they still got my best friend. That's just as good as me. That's just as good as me. So it's like, there's no good in this story at all. So, it's just weird to me, though. But so they lucked up. Long story short, GQ get hit. So as the shots going off, everybody's running. It's a trash can out there in the middle of this courtyard. This trash can got a pathway that leads you all the way to the other end of the courtyard. Once you go to the other end of the courtyard, it's a building that cut the way off that they shot. They can't even see you, shoot you, or be by you or nothing. I'm already right there. So now people running straight. I'm right here. People running straight. They running straight. As they running straight, the bullets going off. I heard all the bullets stop. I didn't hit nobody. I didn't see nobody bleed. Nobody shot. It's just endless people running. I can't really see. The last person come around the trash can is GQ, and he hit. He got shot one time. They might have let off 30, 40, 60 rounds. He got shot one time and only take one lucky bullet. That's what throws me off about the streets. That's what about that day, bro. Like, I don't know which way GQ ran. I think GQ ran the way they were shooting through a fence. I think GQ ran towards the fence they were shooting at, because I don't know. I never seen it. I didn't see anything. I didn't see no shooters. I didn't see GQ get shot. I didn't see nothing. I just seen the aftermath. I heard it. So now I'm at this trash can. This trash can separates the other side of the complex. But I'm at the trash can, so I don't see what happened. So everybody running past, they cool. Everybody getting in cover, they ducking, boom. The shot stopped. GQ run past last. He holding his side. He say, I'm hit, bro. He bleeding from his mouth. So now I'm having a conversation with him. I'm like, sit down. They like, man, all right, lay down. So now he laying down. We having a whole conversation. So now I'm talking to GQ. GQ tell me, I can tell you he passed away now. It ain't even incriminating. And the guys got time for it. I don't even know who the guys was, but they got locked up in charge. I read an article. The guys got locked up in charge. My lawyer contacted me because whoever got locked up for something. I'm going to tell you why he contacted me, though. So now I'm at GQ. I'm over top of GQ. I'm talking to him. He talking to me. All he keeps saying is, bro, I'm about to die. I'm about to die. I'm like, nah, bro, you not about to die. And the reason I'm telling him he not about to die is because I'm going to fast forward real quick. I'm going to talk real fast. Prior to that, a couple years before that, my brother got shot 32 times. 32 times. I looked out the window and a car was beside my brother's car shooting the car. My brother was slumped over the wheel. I ran outside. I seen my brother. I was the first one to the car. I grabbed my brother's neck. It was some white paramedic outside, some white guy. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. It's a rainy day, the day after Christmas. Some white guy was outside. He was a paramedic. The only person outside was a paramedic walking the dog. I don't know what this was God. He came, I'm in the car, I'm holding my brother. My brother kept saying, I'm about to die, man. I'm about to die. He's like, I'm just about to die. He just kept saying he's about to die. I'm like, bro, you ain't about to die. You ain't about to die. The ambulance came, the police came like 20 minutes later and said, who was that? They asked my brother's name. Was it your brother in the car? And I'm like, yeah, hurry up. Send the ambulance, send the ambulance. They heard it was him. They like, nah, they already think he dead. They ain't need to send an ambulance or nothing. I'm like, man, he's still alive. The ambulance, long story short. The white dude that it was the paramedic that was already on the scene, he was walking this dog outside the early morning. He got CPR training. He hopped in the car, put a white shirt around my brother's neck and squeezed it something. He just got out the car and walked off. I swear, like out of a movie. It sounds unreal. I promise you this really happened. Now my brother back to conscious. He talking. The pressure from the bullet wounds in his neck, I don't know what it is. He's spitting up blood, but he got a puffy jacket, so he got feathers and all that. But I'm gonna get off this story. I'm gonna say this in another story time. So long story short, my brother got shot 32 times, the head, everywhere. Long story short, the one of the bullets broke his arm hanging. He shot up. I was talking to him the whole time, like, you ain't gonna, he kept saying, I'm gonna die. So now that I think about it, the ambulance took 30 minutes to come. The ambulance came, took him to the hospital. But now that I'm into the story, I talked to my brother for 30 minutes straight. I think that might have kept him alive. Like, he didn't die. My brother's still alive right now. Like, I'm gonna tell his part of the story. It's like a Netflix movie. Once I tell his part of the story and the connect, it's gonna get real. But I gotta wait. Like, I can't. I gotta think of that story out, a way to clean it up. But so my brother didn't die. I talked to him for 30 minutes in the car, like a whole 20, 30 minutes till the police come. That's what at least what it felt like. And he didn't die. He got shot everywhere you get shot in the body. He supposed to die. He was out the hospital in 4 days. He discharged himself. The rest is history. But back to GQ. Now I'm holding GQ. GQ telling me he about to die. I just went through this. I always got to see my loved ones at their worstest moments, bro. Y'all don't know what I seen in my brain, bro. I got to see the blood. I got to see them at they last moments. They telling me they dying, and I really see them dying. Like, y'all don't know my pain, bro. So now GQ telling me about to die. I'm like, bro, you ain't about to die because I done seen this before. I done been in this position. So I'm holding the wound for him. He holding the wound.
They killed my best friend. Now he resting. I gotta say my prayers and count my blessings. Damn, I miss my best friend.
He tell me to get. He say, bro, I got weed on me. Get the weed off me. In case the police come on, I won't catch no charges when weed was illegal at this time. So I go in this dip and take the weed. I'm realize I got my hand in my man's drawers. This is my man. He don't want to catch no charges. This is what we on. I don't care about that. So I get his weed. He had 10 grams of weed. He had exactly 10 grams of weed. He had 10 grams. Just remember, I said he had 10 grams. Long story short, now that happened in the neighborhood. That happened GQ in the hospital. He go to the hospital. Now he in the hospital. He on the tubes and stuff. He didn't die that day. He died 2 weeks later on a ventilator. Like, they pulled the plug on him. They was keeping him alive with the machine. He was still alive on the machine for 2 weeks after that. After by the trash can, after he got shot. So out of the 10 grams that I took off him, so now, boom, now the police looking for me. Now the police looking for me just because in the neighborhood my name is ongoing, a lot of stuff going on in the city. People talking, they got witnesses and all that. Now this all going, now the police looking for me because I took 10 grams off him. His girlfriend went to the hospital. His girlfriend went to the hospital with GQ. When GQ went to the hospital, he was on the tubes. The girlfriend called me on the phone and said, man, yeah, what GQ had on him? He had some weed and some money. You took his money because I'm trying to smoke. I know he had some weed on him. I said, bro, he ain't had no money. If he had some money, I wouldn't give it to you anyway. I hung up on her. My best friend on the ventilator. I ain't trying to talk to no females. You the same female. He take $50 over your house and hide the money with me because you gonna steal from her. This my friend. Like, I just hit you. Like, you ain't really hit. Like, yeah, I'm hit you and told him I hit him. Like, hit you and we laugh about it. You just don't know. You goofy. Like, then his baby mother did the same thing. Like, so the detectives went to the hospital while he was on the ventilator. Long story short. And I told you that she called me, asked me about the money and the weed. I said he only had 10 grams on him. This back to the 10 grams. He only had 10 grams on him. So I went on her. So now the detectives questioned her at the hospital about the shooting, what's going on, what her boyfriend got going on the street. She told him everything she could tell him, everything she know. We used to hang in her house, so she told him everything she could know. I get subpoenaed because I took the weed off GQ and me and him connected. They know some glizzy murder gangs. I don't know. Made up that the girl told her when she got investigated. So now this is a subpoena for me. They want to question me. So now the police then subpoena me. So now I'm ducking the police. I'm trying to duck them and all that. I ain't been in the neighborhood in 2 months. I ain't been in the neighborhood. I ain't outside. I ain't doing nothing. I'm trying to stay low-key under the radar because that just happened. I'm trying to figure out life. I'm trying to just pinpoint everything, what's going on, trying to figure it out. So in the midst of me, I breezed back outside one day. Now I breezed back outside. So now when I'm outside, the police just run down on me out of nowhere. My first day back outside, they lock me up. They don't lock me up and take me to jail. They lock me up and tell me I got a subpoena warrant. I don't know what that is. Something. So they take me down to 555 building. So I'm in the 555 building, and they tell me, yeah, I want to ask you some questions about Carl Hardy murder. You had the right to remain silent. Anything, something, you get a lawyer, something. But I know my brother, I got snatched by the FBI from my brother a couple times. I know when you go in this building, you get the lawyer, they see you down the lawyer building, you come back with him, you don't say nothing, and they don't see you to no grand jury or nothing. So I know, like, I ain't saying nothing. I'm like, all right, I want to get the lawyer. So they told me I can go down to the court building and get the lawyer and sign up for the lawyer or something and come back with the representation. So I said I was going to get the lawyer. I never went and got the lawyer. I took my ass home. Like, even with the subpoena and all, I took my ass home. I'm moving around again. Then they catch me again. Like, they caught me again. Like, locked me up. They held me. They ain't held me for one day, but they held me longer this day. They took me down the get book joint, and a nigga came and got me in the suit and took me to another building, and they sat in there and held me and asked me questions. I said I want to get the lawyer. They told me I couldn't go get the lawyer because I just lied like that time, so they told me the lawyer gonna come. The lawyer didn't come. So they couldn't find a lawyer for me. So they made me sign a paper that subpoena John with my name on it that I'm going to come back tomorrow and they're going to have representation for me. They came back tomorrow, and tomorrow I picked the representation. I had the representation. Now I got the lawyer. I never said nothing to this time. They don't even know my name yet. They know what they know from the girl or whatever they know, but I ain't said nothing to them. My best friend ended up getting shot one time in the abdomen by a Draco. Long story short, y'all know this story. I'll be tired of telling this story because I get emotional. I was holding him and he told me he was going to die. And he really died. He told me he was gonna die. He was bleeding from the mouth, and he really died. I'm in the streets. We all in the streets. And I know the things that I got going on with myself in the streets at this time, because I'm a rapper and I know what's going on in the world. We know what's going on in the world. I'm just off my pivot. And the day I was off my pivot, I lost my best friend. It changed my life forever. So I didn't know who did it or why they did it, but I ended up getting subpoenaed for the murder. I ended up getting subpoenaed, and I got subpoenaed. When I got subpoenaed, I had ran from the subpoena, but they ended up catching me. They ain't locked me up or give me no jail time or nothing. They just took me to like the 555 building and showed me some pictures, and I told them I didn't know them people from the pictures. I don't know nobody. I would like to get a lawyer. They was like, all right, we're gonna talk to you. You don't have to say anything. And they just was telling me that I had some money on my head and some guys was out to kill me behind something, some rap beef that I got going on with the GlizzyGang or something to that nature. So I'm like, I don't know nothing about nothing or what y'all talking about. But they told me they got the information from out of some guy's cell phone. So, all right, GQ passed away. A Ring camera caught some suspects. I don't know how they end up locking the suspects up. I don't even know how the suspects got caught. I don't even know. I don't even know how they got caught, but I'm so sure they got caught. They got apprehended. And then the police came and got me and tried to get me to tell on them and identify them, but I really don't know them, and I couldn't identify no people, no ski masks. I don't know them. I wouldn't identify them anyway. So they telling me that they went through their phones and some guys had some money on my head, something connected to GlizzyGang. So the guys pull up to the neighborhood. That happened. The police locks them up. They get locked up. Now they're in custody. As they in custody, I guess they telling the police, like now they not telling the police, they telling their lawyer how they gonna fight the GQ case. They telling their lawyer that I did it. Like the prosecutor called them. They told their lawyer to get a meeting with the prosecutor. They met, they sat down in I don't know if it's a debriefing or something, but Quincy, whoever Quincy is, he sat down and he told the police that Aunt Glizzy is the sole person to this case, is the person who killed GQ. I'm the one who killed GQ, and they should lock me up. Basically, let them out of jail. I killed GQ, and they should be free. That was their fight. That was their defense. They went to court with court-appointed lawyers. They didn't even have paid lawyers. Like, to beat a murder, you need $1 million. They ain't had no $1 million lawyers. They had one of them said they had a $100,000 lawyer, but we're gonna get into that. So, I guess it's evidence, it's ring cameras, it's door cameras, it's shooters, it's 4 guys hopping out of a car on YouTube. How can you go to the prosecutor and tell him I did it? That don't even make sense. So it's 4 guys that was on a YouTube video that's locked up. Now they all locked up. Now they locked up for the GQ murder. But they didn't get locked up right away. In the time of GQ being murdered, this same group of individuals allegedly went to another neighborhood and did the same thing.
For the first time, we are hearing from the parents of Micaa Wilson. The 10-year-old was shot and killed Monday night outside her home in Northeast.
A short time ago, Makiyah's mother spoke to a crowd at the scene where her daughter was killed. She said Makiyah loved music and loved spending time with her brothers and sisters. She also said Makiyah had just left a nearby pool and was walking to a truck when gunfire broke out.
This happened to my baby, you know, and it's, oh my God, man. It's just hurt me so bad. Like, it hurt me because my baby can't live and see her life. She wanna do stuff. Yeah. She wanted to do some stuff.
The crowd tonight released balloons as they called for justice, and that mother you just heard from, she also said her 18-year-old daughter was one of the 4 people hurt in Monday's shooting.
Also today, D.C. police say they found the car used by 4 masked men in Prince George's County this morning. Fox 5's Paul Wagner is following the investigation.
Friends and family of Micaa Wilson have gathered here in the courtyard where she was shot. They are about to release balloons into the air as they mourn her loss. At this hour, D.C. police confirm that they have recovered the vehicle that was used in the attack, but it's unclear what leads, if any, the recovery of that vehicle has given the police at this hour. What we do know is that there have not been any arrests. D.C. police knew soon after the shooting the make and model of the vehicle they were looking for because of two cameras in the neighborhood. One recorded the shooting, and another captured the men in the car as they were fleeing the scene. A law enforcement source says that car, an Infiniti sedan, was found about 7 o'clock this morning on Brooks Drive in the Suitland District Heights area of Prince George's County. Today, as the memorial for Makiyah grew outside her home, bullet holes were still evident in the door and window. Back on 53rd Street in the Clay Terrace neighborhood, police recruits went door to door handing out flyers. If police have learned a motive for the attack, they are not saying. Makiyah's uncle, though, has some choice words for the killers, who didn't seem to care who got in the way.
These cowards need to be held accountable for their actions, straight up, because when you sign up for the streets, you feel what I'm saying? This is what happens. They come with certain rules and guidelines. Learn the rules and the guidelines of the streets. If you get out here, you see kids, you see parents, you see mothers out here, buck a U-turn and come back, if that's what you got in your heart to do.
In the video released by D.C. police, you can see 3 gunmen firing in all directions in the courtyard, while one man appears to run towards the front door where Makiyah lived.
Her mother is speechless. It's hard for her. She's getting so many messages and so much love, but at the end of the day, she feel like it's her fault. And I just want to tell her, like, it's not your fault. She said she tried, and she felt like she failed her daughter.
Mike D'Angelo came into the neighborhood with a freshly painted picture of his niece, a little girl with a captivating smile who was looking forward to 5th grade and some games with the school basketball team.
Like they just hopped out of a car and just opened shots onto a crowd of people from afar and not knowing who they shot. I told you the first time they killed GQ, and the second time they end up shooting a 10-year-old little girl at an ice cream truck. Her name Micaa Wilson. If y'all ever seen the little girl all over the news, and her family and her mother was traumatized and destroyed about her child going to the ice cream truck and was hit by a stray bullet because a car pulled up. It's a video camera footage of a car pulling up, opening fire. So the FBI got involved because it's a juvenile. It's a 10-year-old little girl shot at an ice cream truck in a complex. The FBI got involved on the case. So now the FBI got involved on the case, and they just putting the pieces of puzzle together. I guess the FBI, I don't know what information they got. I don't know how they locked all these people up, but it's all public records. After the 10-year-old little girl, everything just started breaking down. They caught on to them shooters being the same shooters in that situation, so they put it together, kinda.
Last July, when 4 men jumped out of this black car and opened fire, killing 10-year-old Micaa Wilson as she was on her way to an ice cream truck. Today, a D.C. Superior Court judge unsealed a 26-count indictment linking Wilson's murder to the 2017 murder of Carl Hardy, which was captured on surveillance video outside the Potomac Gardens housing complex in Southeast.
They committed 2 murders in a group, so they gave them conspiracy murder charges. So now the FBI is involved. Everybody that has something to do with these guns, everybody that ever touched a gun that got something to do with GQ and this little girl went to jail.
Between, on, or about May 1st, 2017, and or about May 22nd, 2019, within the District of Columbia and elsewhere, Saquon Williams, also known as Head Money, Quincy Garvin, also known as C-Deuce, Quentin Michaels, also known as Q, also known as Q Ball, Kawan Thomas, also known as Little Quan, Gregory Taylor, also known as Jizzle, also known as Gillette, Mark Price, also known as Little Mark, also known as Makiyah, Markel Cobbs, also known as Thilo, also known as Kalo, Darice Jeffers, also known as Neff, also known as Shape Up, Isaiah Murchison, also known as Zay, also known as Zah, also known as Cutter, Antonio Murchison, also known as Earls, also known as Tony Earls, and other persons whose identities are known and unknown to the grand jury acted in order to assault and kill individuals with contrary interests, to safeguard and protect their turf and base of operations, and to prevent apprehension and prosecution by law enforcement, include but are not limited to members and associates of Wellington Park promoted and enhanced their status within crew through their use of social media. Member and associates of Wellington Park often possessed and carried firearms and also shared in the possession of firearms, in part so that they were always ready to launch an attack against rivals or others with contrary interests. Members and associates of Wellington Park sought to discourage rivals and those with contrary interests from retaliating against them by promoting the violent nature of the criminal organization on social media. On August 9th, 2017, Saquon Williams posted a video of himself on his Instagram account in possession of a firearm. On August 12th, 2017, Saquon Williams posted a photograph on his Instagram account of himself holding 4 firearms with the caption, "GGG suckers, all Glocks." On September 5th, 2017, Saquon Williams posted a photograph of himself, Marquel Cobbs, Quentin Michaels, and others whose identities are both known and unknown to the grand jury on his Instagram account wearing matching t-shirts stating, "Don't tell on me." On September 10th, 2017, Saquon Williams and Quincy Garvin entered a vehicle with another individual whose identity is unknown to the grand jury. On September 10th, 2017, a fourth individual whose identity is unknown to the grand jury drove Saquon Williams, Quincy Garvin, and the third individual whose identity is unknown to the grand jury to the area of the 1200 block of I Street Southeast in Washington, D.C. On September 10th, 2017, that fourth individual drove around the block multiple times. On September 10th, 2017, the fourth individual stopped the car to let Saquon Williams, Quincy Garvin, and the third individual exit the car. On September 10th, 2017, the third individual, whose identity is unknown to the grand jury, exited the car armed with a firearm. On September 10th, 2017, Quincy Garvin, Saquon Williams, and the third individual, whose identity is unknown to the grand jury, ran from the car to a gate separating the courtyard area of Potomac Gardens from the sidewalk. On September 10th, 2017, Saquon Williams, Quincy Garvin, and the third individual, whose identity is unknown to the grand jury, all ran back to the car, which was waiting in the middle of the street. On September 10th, 2017, the fourth individual, whose identity is unknown to the grand jury, drove Saquon Williams, Quincy Garvin, and the third individual, whose identity is unknown to the grand jury, away from the crime scene. On September 13th, 2017, Saquon Williams and another individual whose identity is known to the grand jury exchanged text messages and the price of a firearm. On September 13th, 2017, Saquon Williams posted a photograph on his Instagram account of himself, Isaiah Murchison, and another individual whose identity is known to the grand jury with the caption, "All of my niggas bout gunplay, don't come on my block, this A1 way." On September 14th, 2017, Saquon Williams posted a photograph of himself on his Instagram account in possession of a firearm. On September 14th, 2017, Saquon Williams posted a video of himself on his Instagram account in possession of a firearm with the caption, "He was tough till I ran down with both glizzies." On September 18th, 2017, Quentin Michaels sent a message on Instagram to members of Wellington Park indicating that they all needed to put in money to purchase guns. In response to Quentin Michaels' message on September 18th, 2017, Quincy Garvin sent a message on Instagram to members of Wellington Park stating, "On Snoop, I'm with whatever." On July 11th, 2018, Marquel Cobbs sent a video to Kawan Thomas depicting a large number of weapons that were available to the group. Between on or about July 11th, 2018 and or about July 13th, 2018, Gregory Taylor, Quentin Michaels, and other persons whose identities are known to the grand jury communicated about the availability of a vehicle they needed. On July 14, 2018, Quentin Michaels and Doris Jeffers obtained a black Infiniti from an individual whose identity is known to the grand jury. On July 16, 2018, Quentin Michaels and Kawan Thomas discussed the best way to transport their 100-round drum to a different location. On July 16, 2018, Kawan Thomas and Gregory Taylor discussed where to find multiple handguns inside an apartment. On July 16, 2018, Gregory Taylor reached out to another person whose identity is known to the grand jury in an effort to contact Mark Price. On July 16, 2018, Gregory Taylor and Quentin Michaels discussed reaching Mark Price and the need to have him as a driver. On the afternoon of July 16, 2018, Doris Jeffers possessed multiple handguns. By late afternoon, early evening on July 16, 2018, Marquel Cobbs, Kawan Thomas, Doris Jeffers, Isaiah Murchison, Gregory Taylor, Antonia Murchison, Quentin Michaels, and Mark Price were congregating inside and around 2508 Pomeroy Road, Southeast Washington, D.C. Prior to 7 o'clock p.m. on July 16, 2018, Doris Jeffers obtained an assault rifle. At approximately 7 p.m. on July 16, 2018, Doris Jeffers and another person whose identity is unknown to the grand jury delivered the assault rifle to 2508 Pomeroy Road, Southeast Washington, D.C. On the evening of July 16, 2018, Isaiah Murchison armed himself with a firearm and entered a black Infiniti. On the evening of July 16, 2018, Mark Price drove a black Infiniti to the area of Clay Terrace in Washington, D.C. with 4 armed passengers. On the evening of July 16, 2018, Mark Price stopped the black Infiniti in an area near a courtyard and waited while the 4 men exited the vehicle armed with firearms. On the evening of July 16, 2018, Isaiah Murchison shot a firearm into a courtyard in the Clay Terrace neighborhood. On the evening of July 16, 2018, Mark Price drove the 4 armed individuals away from the Clay Terrace neighborhood and back to the area near Wellington Park. On the evening of July 16, 2018, Quentin Michaels, Doris Jeffers, and Marquel Cobbs remained in the area near 2508 Pomeroy Road, Southeast Washington, D.C. On July 16, 2018, after the shooting in the Clay Terrace neighborhood, Mark Price sent a text message to Marquel Cobbs in an effort to reach Quentin Michaels. On July 16, 2018, after the shooting in the Clay Terrace neighborhood, Quentin Michaels and other persons whose identities are known and unknown to the grand jury abandoned the black Infiniti in Temple Hills, Maryland. On July 17, 2018, Quentin Michaels and Doris Jeffers communicated regarding the locations of various guns that were hidden the previous night. On July 19, 2018, and July 20, 2018, Kawan Thomas updated Quincy Garvin regarding the July 16, 2018 shooting in Clay Terrace and identified the participants in the shooting. Saquon Williams, also known as Head Money, Quincy Garvin, also known as C-Deuce, and other persons whose identities are unknown to the grand jury within the District of Columbia while armed with a firearm purposely and with deliberate and premeditated malice killed Carl Hardy by shooting him with a firearm on or about September 10, 2017, thereby causing injuries from which Carl Hardy died on or about October 1, 2017. Saquon Williams, also known as Head Money, Quincy Garvin, also known as C-Deuce, and other persons whose identities are unknown to the grand jury within the District of Columbia, while armed with a firearm, purposely and with deliberate and premeditated malice, killed Carl Hardy by shooting him with a firearm on or about September 10, 2017, thereby causing injuries from which Carl Hardy died on or about October 1, 2017. First-degree murder while armed, premeditated, in violation of 22 D.C. Code Sections 2101, 4502. Between on or about May 1st, 2017, and or about May 22nd, 2019, the criminal organization referred to by various names including, but not limited to, DF and GlizzyGang, GG, but which will be referred to for purposes of this indictment, as Wellington Park was a criminal street gang that had as one of its purposes and frequent activities the violation of the criminal laws of the District of Columbia, including, but not limited to, 22 D.C. Code Sections 401, 402, 407, 722, 2101, 4502, 4503, 4504, and 48 D.C. Code Section 904. On or about September 10th, 2017, within the District of Columbia, Saquon Williams, also known as Head Money, and Quincy Garvin, also known as C-Deuce, a member of active participant of the Wellington Park criminal street gang, knowingly and willfully participated in a felony or violent misdemeanor, that is, first-degree murder, while armed as set forth in the second count of this indictment, committed for the benefit of, at the direction of, and in association with any other member, a participant of the Wellington Park criminal street gang, in violation of 22 D.C. Code Section 951. Quinton Michaels, also known as Q, also known as Q-Ball, Quan Thomas, also known as Little Quan, Gregory Taylor, also known as Jizzel, also known as Gillette, Mark Price, also known as Little Mark, also known as Makiyah, Marquel Cobbs, also known as Stilo, also known as Kalo, Derice Jeffers, also known as Neff, also known as Shape Up, Isaiah Murchison, also known as Zay, also known as Za, also known as Cutter, Antonio Murchison, also known as Earls, also known as Tony Earls, and other persons whose identities are known and unknown to the grand jury within the District of Columbia while armed with a firearm, purposely and with deliberate and premeditated malice, killed Micaa Wilson by shooting her with a firearm on or about July 16, 2018, thereby causing injuries from which Micaa Wilson died on or about July 16, 2018. The grand jury further charges that at the time such murder was committed, the following aggravating circumstance existed. The murder was a drive-by or random shooting. The grand jury further charges that at the time such murder was committed, the following aggravated circumstances existed. The victim was especially vulnerable due to age. A Superior Court jury today returned guilty verdicts against 6 men from Washington, D.C., charging the murder of 10-year-old Micaa Wilson. The verdicts were announced by U.S. Attorney Matthew M. Graves and Interim Chief Ashan Benedict of the Metropolitan Police Department. A jury found Isaiah Murchison, 23, Derice Jeffers, 23, Gregory Taylor, 27, Quan Thomas, 24, and Quinton Michaels, 25, guilty of first-degree murder while armed, conspiracy to commit a crime of violence, participation in a criminal street gang, and multiple counts of assault with intent to kill while armed. Co-defendant Marquel Cobbs, 21, was found guilty of conspiracy to commit a crime of violence. All 6 are members of the Wellington Park crew. Sentencing hearings are scheduled for October 6, 2023 and October 20th, 2023. On July 16, 2018, 4 men exited a vehicle in the courtyard of an apartment complex and indiscriminately fired over 50 shots at the residents because of a petty social media feud they had with individuals who associated with that community, said U.S. Attorney Matthew M. Graves. Their rampage left multiple people shot and a 10-year-old child dead. Today's verdicts demonstrate that we will hold accountable both the shooters in these brazen attacks and the people who helped them. This investigation was the result of great detective work by our homicide detectives who worked tirelessly to track down evidence, follow up on leads and tips from the community, along with our federal law enforcement partnerships, said Chief Benedict. It was because of hard work between the Metropolitan Police Department, our law enforcement partners, and most importantly, the community. On July 16, 2018, defendants Isaiah Murchison, Gregory Taylor, Quan Thomas, and 2 other individuals drove to the Clay Terrace neighborhood armed with guns. They opened fire on the Clay Terrace courtyard, firing more than 50 shots indiscriminately. Micaa Wilson, who was sitting on the front stoop of her home, was killed. Several others were wounded. Defendants Quentin Michaels and Derice Jeffers assisted the shooters by obtaining the weapons and the vehicle used in the shooting. 4 members of the Wellington Park crew were sentenced today for the murder of 10-year-old Micaa Wilson, an innocent bystander gunned down on July 16, 2018, in the courtyard of a Washington, D.C. apartment complex. The shooting also left multiple people wounded. The sentences were announced by U.S. Attorney Matthew M. Graves and Acting Chief Pamela Smith of the Metropolitan Police Department. Kawan Thomas, 24, was sentenced to 68 years in prison today by D.C. Superior Court Judge Robert Oken after being found guilty on June 13th of first-degree murder while armed, conspiracy to commit a crime of violence, participation in a criminal street gang, multiple counts of assault with intent to kill while armed, and related firearms offenses. Derice Jeffers, 23, was sentenced to 35 years in prison today by D.C. Superior Court Judge Robert Oken after being found guilty on June 13th of first-degree murder while armed, conspiracy to commit a crime of violence, participation in a criminal street gang, multiple counts of assault with intent to kill while armed, and related firearms offenses. Mr. Jeffers was found guilty under an aiding and abetting theory and was not identified as an actual shooter in this case. Quentin Michaels, 25, was sentenced to 40 years in prison today by D.C. Superior Court Judge Robert Oken after being found guilty on June 13th of first-degree murder while armed, conspiracy to commit a crime of violence, participation in a criminal street gang, and multiple counts of assault with intent to kill while armed. Mr. Michaels was found guilty under an aiding and abetting theory and was not identified as an actual shooter in this case. Gregory Taylor, 27, was sentenced to 65 years in prison today by D.C. Superior Court Judge Robert Oken after being found guilty on June 13th of first-degree murder while armed, conspiracy to commit a crime of violence, participation in a criminal street gang, multiple counts of assault with intent to kill while armed, and related firearms offenses. 2 other defendants, Isaiah Murchison and Marquel Cobbs, were sentenced on October 6, 2023 to 60 years and 72 months in prison, respectively. According to the government's evidence on July 16, 2018, defendants Isaiah Murchison, Gregory Taylor, Kawan Thomas, and 2 other individuals drove to the Clay Terrace neighborhood armed with guns. They opened fire on the Clay Terrace courtyard, firing more than 50 shots indiscriminately. Micaa Wilson, who was sitting on the front stoop of her home, was killed. Several other people were wounded. Defendants Quentin Michaels and Derice Jeffers assisted the shooters by obtaining the weapons and vehicle used in the shooting. Despite having witnessed the defendants preparing for the shooting, no witnesses were willing to provide information regarding the identity of the shooters. The government presented forensic evidence, statements the defendants made over social media, and motive evidence in presenting its case.
Everybody that drove a car, called somebody, I don't care if you hid the gun, I don't care whatever you did, way connected to this, you got the car, whatever way you was connected to this people. This case had 27 people locked up, 27 people in custody. It was 4 shooters that pulled up in the car shooting and 27 people went to jail for it. They literally locked up everybody. So these guys been going to trial. It's this guy named DF Jizzel. This is Shy Glizzy right-hand man. I'm not here to create no stories or build no false narratives. I'm not even saying nothing happened or putting no stories together. Y'all are here to make y'all own stories and y'all own connections. It's up to y'all to use your own imagination. Your imagination is whatever you create. I'm not here to put no stories or no pieces of them puzzles together. DF Jizzel got locked up. He's the conspirator. They call him the head of DF Gang. He's the CEO. He's the CEO of the DF Gang. CEO of DF Gang is Shy Glizzy's right-hand man. He became Shy Glizzy right-hand man behind 30 Glizzy. 30 Glizzy was hanging with DF Jizzel and the DF Gang. That's who 30 was running with, DF Gang. 30 Glizzy was hanging with the DF Gang, and that was his introduction to Shy Glizzy. DF Jizzel was hanging around 30 so much, and he had his own money. He had his own motion. DF Jizzel had his own money. He was already fly. He had his own motion. So Shy Glizzy loved to get that around him. You feel what I'm saying? To make him look good, to be on his street appeal and make him look like he from the streets. And DF Jizzel is the CEO of DF Gang. He put them on, so them his crash dummies. Anything he do, they'll go do 60 years for him, 40 years for him. That's how the story ends. I'm gonna get to that part.
Fast forward several years, but justice has been served, but it doesn't bring back the young lady, Micaa Wilson. My condolences to her and her family, but the Metropolitan Police Department never gave up on this case. It was a combination of good old-fashioned detective work, forensics, and all the tools available to us to bring this case to closure. I want to thank our partners in the U.S. Attorney's Office for vigorously prosecuting this case and bringing it to closure today. Again, we take gun violence so seriously. We've had another young lady lose her life, another 10-year-old recently, Ariana Davis, and we would like to bring that case to closure. And the people who did that, just know we're coming for you. You know who you are. And investigations, it may take 5 years to bring it to closure. This one won't. We got the best detectives in the Metropolitan Police Department working this case right now, and we're going to bring that case to closure too. If anybody has any information on this investigation, call us at 202-727-9099, or you can text us anonymously at 50411. That'll conclude my statement. I'll open up to any questions.
What do you, with hesitation to come forward with tips, I know that's something you guys deal with a lot. How are you trying to combat that, especially with the latest case and the other one?
Well, our community has been phenomenal, really, in a lot of our investigations, including the Micaa Wilson investigation. The community has brought a lot of tips to our attention. They did so not just because of the award, because it's the right thing to do. And corroborating those tips with the investigation that Detective Gus put together and the team was helpful in bringing this case to closure. So we continue to ask the public for their help. We can't do it without the public's help.
But in this case, the defense attorneys argued that there were no fingerprints, no DNA, no kind of physical evidence that really put the defendants there. And I guess the point is here, if you work the case hard enough and you look at all the social media, you can bring a case together even under those kind of difficult circumstances. Do either of you want to talk about that?
Yeah, Mr. Graves?
Sure. That's absolutely correct, right? And what the community needs to understand, yes, we need information from the community, we want cooperators, but what this case demonstrates is that we have the ability through 21st century investigative tactics to put together social media, to put together video evidence, which is more and more prevalent, and to tell a compelling story that will convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt of guilt.
Can you tell us what the defendants are facing on all the counts and help us out just as far as sentencing when sentencing comes?
So I'm not going to get into the specifics of the case at this time. We will be issuing a press release that will have some of that information.
But the conspiracy, are you just, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sam.
I have a question for the, hopefully maybe for the detective. The issue right now in a lot of these cases is social media, right? And it seems that this was the case then. Is it still, I mean, because we're hearing about, this group gets into it with that group, they put on a video, somebody gets killed. This was happening 5 years ago, and it seems to be even worse today.
Well, social media does play a big part in our investigations. So, yes, in this investigation, it did play a big part. And in our continuing investigations of all other cases that do occur in the city.
So it's still a big thing today?
Yes, sir.
Is it worse today than 5 years ago?
Worse in what way?
In terms of more instances of people having conflict based on video.
I would say a lot of the videos are music-related videos, like on YouTube, which cause a lot of issues between neighborhoods and rappers, so to say, and that kind of starts the neighborhood beefs and disputes.
And do you think it's more prevalent today than it was 5 years ago, or do you have a sense of it?
Well, I mean, definitely it's more prevalent today, because it's occurring more often today.
Mr. Graves, are you at all disappointed that Mr. Cobbs was only convicted on the conspiracy count? or does that count still carry some serious penalties?
We are incredibly appreciative of the jury's dedication here. As I said before, this trial went in excess of 4 months. They delivered a verdict holding everyone accountable criminally for their conduct in connection with this horrific act.
Can you talk about the other 2 defendants that still are set to have trial, right?
So obviously, as you just said, there's still going to be a trial, so we cannot talk about that, but we will present that case with the same vigor that we presented this case.
We'll take 2 more questions.
What does this say to the people that have criticized you for not bringing enough prosecutions? Does this case speak to you, to those criticisms?
So, as I've repeatedly said, we are focused like a laser on those individuals who are driving violence within our communities and responsible for the most horrific acts within our community. I think this case demonstrates that commitment and that resolve. That is not the only criminal element on which we are focused, but it is a priority of ours.
And the big story tonight at 5, life in prison for one of the 5 men in the 2018 murder of Micaa Wilson.
Makiyah was shot and killed just outside of her Northeast home while trying to get ice cream. It has been 5 years since her death. Our Stephanie Ramirez was inside of that courtroom today and joins us with more details. Steph?
And guys, this defendant who essentially got a life sentence here, his name is Isaiah Murchison, and officials say he was one of the 4 men seen on camera getting out of the car and firing into a Northeast D.C. courtyard about 5 years ago. Now, the judge today ordered at least 60 years behind bars for this individual who was 18 years old at the time. He's now 23, and there is, according to the court spokesperson, a 50-year mandatory minimum. So he's now looking at being behind bars until he is in his 70s at the very least. After court today, I did speak one-on-one with Micaa Wilson's father, and the family is pleased, saying that safety is a big issue in the city and that this sentencing is an example.
We're just glad with the outcome, glad at what we heard, because it wasn't a joke. A life was taken, so we're just happy the judge, made that example of them, and hopefully anybody else that come behind them, the same thing happened to them.
There's been a cousin of the 10-year-old killed said in court today during impact statements that some of Makiyah's last words were consoling her family, saying she was okay, that it was just a little pain, and then she died. It was July 16, 2018, by 53rd Street Northeast, when police say 4 gang members got out of a car and started firing over 50 shots in a Clay Terrace courtyard because of a petty social media feud, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. This year, there were actually 6 men convicted in the case. 5 were convicted of Makiyah's murder and a number of other serious charges. 1 was acquitted of murder, but convicted of conspiracy for allegedly lining up the car and guns used. Now, that person is 21-year-old Markel Cobbs, who was 16 years old at the time. A judge sentenced him today to 72 months behind bars, 3 years supervised release. The U.S. Attorney's Office had asked for 84 months in that case there. I can tell you, with the heavy sentence for the other individual, that really reflects a number of other people also injured in this, including Micaa Wilson's own sister, who was also shot back in this incident in 2018. The other 6 defendants not sentenced today. They are expected to go before a judge for sentencing later this month. And we did already hear from at least one of the defendants' attorneys saying they plan to appeal. Guys?
But before I want to get off topic of this story real quick, I want you young guys to know, I want y'all to make y'all own decisions in this world. If y'all ever do anything, y'all do something on y'all own accord because y'all wanted to do it. Not because y'all was peer pressured to do it or not because it was the popular opinion to do it. These guys in this story threw their life away just to be popular with a guy from YouTube, just to have I guess to just get their name in the song. They let their family down, their neighborhood down and everything for nothing. These neighborhoods and these people that passed away and these guys that they said they was beefing with, they don't even know. They don't know these guys. They don't know how they're beefing or nothing. They just strictly crash dummies. They use their lives to crash. Like, you ever seen a person that needs somebody to do something they wouldn't do because they don't want to do the jail time? It's called a flunky. It's like DF gang is the guys you send or you tell them to do something you wouldn't do. I wouldn't do it. And they feel like they so hard they'd do it, but they not know. They just the stupid ones to do it because nobody going to do 60 years. Some of them got 60 years, y'all. Let's get into the story. So 30 Glizzy ended up passing away. A week before GQ died, 30 Glizzy passed away. Now these DF guys are mourning 30 Glizzy loss. A random shooting happened and GQ died. But I believe in karma because you cannot be a fake gangster. You got to be a real gangster. Like, I come from the old era where you get out and you go get up on your man. That's a shooter. A shooter is a guy that get out the car, go get your man. You just hit him. You don't hit innocent people. You don't kill a 10-year-old little girl. I feel so sorry for that little girl family. She didn't even get to live. It ain't even a boy. It ain't even an op. It ain't even a street guy. It's an innocent little kid that have nothing in them but joy, smile, and life. Like this, if the family see this and if the mother see this, I just want you to know, I don't know what you going through, but I just commend you for being strong. I still see you being strong out here. At least in the public eye, you still being strong. I don't even know how you can wake up and walk. I just pray and I pray for people. And I would definitely say a prayer for you. And I hope you just get through the darkest times that you've been through in your life. And I wish the best for you and your family. Because these guys are... The streets is glorifying these guys. You don't glorify these guys. You don't glorify the guy who kills the kids. You don't glorify the guy who raped. You don't glorify the guy who do stuff to old people. You don't glorify this. These are not shooters. These are crash dummies. These are guys that pull up and will shoot in the neighborhood and get 60 years and stand on it and act like they won, like they real guys. So the FBI got into the case and ended up locking them all up. So they went to trial. So now they in trial. I see DF Jizzel throw up a post. I got a $100,000 lawyer. I bet I beat it. So now he lose trial. I'm looking to see what his post gonna be now. He throw up another post. After judge, I ain't changing. I'm gonna get back. First of all, if you think $100,000 on a lawyer can beat a conspiracy charge to commit murder, I don't know what world you in. I was thinking at least 1.5 you might have had a fair chance, bro. You lowballed yourself. You had your own motion. You had your own wave out here. You could have been yourself. You could have still been out here these days. I swear, y'all, these guys could have still been out here living their life. To this day, they are in jail for nothing, just on the strength of riding. I never seen nobody get 65 years for riding, and y'all justifying this. So, they end up going to trial. One went to trial a little bit before them, maybe a couple months before them. He ended up losing, getting 30-something years. DF Jizzel, the CEO, the one that want to be the tough guy, he lit a super duper image, y'all. He want to be gangster so bad. He wanted the city to be terrified of him. He just want to be known for stepping so bad. Y'all ever heard that Shy Glizzy verse? Free my nigga DF because the lawyer's scared of him. I know who ain't scared of him, the prosecutor. They gave him 65 years. Can't make this up, bro. 65 years. They all got 200 and some years together for ride. DF stand for riding family. And this for all the young guys out here. Y'all live y'all own life, enjoy yourself, and make sure y'all get y'all some money. Don't ever be a killer. You can kill the bank, bro. Barberson.